Yondu, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yondu Udanta never saw himself as a hero. He was the outlaw, the kidnapper, the Ravager captain who raised Peter Quill with threats and tough love. The galaxy saw a criminal. Peter saw a man who never said why he cared. But Yondu's life was built on one secret: he was protecting Peter all along, hiding him from Ego, saving him from the fate the other children never escaped. When Ego's planet begins to collapse, Peter is losing his breath, fighting a god he never asked to meet. The Guardians look on in horror, knowing space will tear him apart within seconds. There's only one survival suit, one life that can be saved. Yondu doesn't hesitate. No speech, no fear, just a father making the only choice a father could. He rockets upward with Peter in his arms, the cold darkness swallowing them both. Peter begs him to take the suit, but Yondu just smiles, with warmth he never knew how to show. He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Peter finally hears the truth he spent his whole life waiting for. Not from Ego, not from blood, but from the man who raised him with rough hands and a hidden heart. As Yondu's body freezes, the galaxy loses a Ravager, and Peter loses the only dad he ever had. His funeral lights the stars fireworks for a man who thought he'd die alone. The Ravagers show up not out of duty, but respect. They honor the hero Yondu became in his final breath. His sacrifice didn't just save Peter's life, it saved his childhood. It gave him a father. But in the end, even the brightest fireworks fade, and the people we love become constellations we carry forever. Black Widow, Avengers, Endgame. Natasha Romanoff spent her entire life believing she didn't deserve happiness. She carried guilt like armor, convinced her past could only be balanced through sacrifice. The red in her ledger haunted every quiet moment. So when she and Clint arrive on Vormir, this isn't just a mission for her. It's a chance to finally make things right. Red Skull's words cut through the silence. A soul, for a soul. But instead of fear, Nat smiles. She finally understands what her purpose has always been. Two master assassins trained killers suddenly fighting each other, not to live, but to decide who gets to die. They don't throw punches for themselves, but for the family waiting back home. Clint jumps first. He's ready to pay the price. But Natasha? She refuses to let the last good man she knows carry another burden. She tackles him mid-air, tears in her eyes, but peace in her heart. One final moment, fingers slipping. A soft smile that says, "This is how I make the ledger right." She falls. No funeral. No crowded ceremony. The world never knew what she gave. But the universe remembers the woman who finally chose herself by choosing everyone else. Some heroes die to save the ones they love. Natasha died because she finally found someone worth sacrificing for. Logan, the unkillable X-Man, is dying. Not from a villain, but from the metal inside him. The greatest fighter in mutant history now struggles to even stand. But when Laura, his daughter, is hunted, Logan finds a reason to live one last time. He faces X-24, the monster version of himself, the rage, the violence, the weapon he once was, and he loses, impaled and broken. With trembling breaths, he tells Laura the words he never believed he could say. So this is what it feels like.
This is what it feels like.
Not death, love. And while Logan died a father, another hero died a friend. Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Groot doesn't understand strategy. He doesn't care about winning. He cares about his friends. As Ronan's ship plummets towards Xandar, Groot wraps his vines around the team, a tree becoming a shield. Rocket begs him not to do it. Groot only answers, "We are Groot."
No, Groot, you can't.
We are Groot.
He takes the impact and shatters. From his remains, a tiny sprout grows a reminder that sometimes sacrifice plants the seed of something new. But the universe wasn't done taking heroes yet. Iron Man, Avengers Endgame. Tony Stark didn't start as a hero. He was a billionaire who cared more about reputation than responsibility. But life kept breaking him, reshaping him. A cave turned his heart into metal. New York showed him gods and fear. Ultron reminded him that his mistakes could destroy the world. And losing Peter Parker? That shattered whatever armor he had left on the inside. So when he sees a chance to undo 5 years of pain, he takes it. Even though he knows the cost. The battle rages. Thanos has the stones. Victory slips through the hero's fingers like dust. Thanos looks Tony in the eyes and declares, "I am inevitable."
I am inevitable.
But Tony, with a lifetime of regret and one final spark of hope, lifts his hand. The stones now locked to his armor glow brighter than his arc reactor ever did. And I am Iron Man.
And I am Iron Man.
A snap that rewrites the universe. A snap that wipes out an army. A snap that kills him. The arc reactor, the thing that once threatened his life, now burns out to save billions. He collapses, surrounded by the people who became his family. Rhodey, the first friend who believed in him. Peter, the kid he loved like a son. Pepper, the reason he fought to live. She holds his face and whispers through tears, "You can rest now." A genius, a legend, a man who finally found peace not in survival, but in sacrifice. Because even with all his suits, all his tech, there was one battle Tony Stark could never win: outrunning death. Quicksilver Avengers Age of Ultron. He spent his life running. But he stops for one moment to save a man holding a child. A split-second decision, a wall of bullets, a life traded for two others. Hawkeye stares in shock. Wanda screams and the entire battlefield shakes from her grief. Pietro never got applause, speeches, or a goodbye. Just one line. "You didn't see that coming?" Some heroes die once, others die twice. Vision Avengers Infinity War. Vision wasn't born, he was created. A synthetic soul powered by the Mind Stone, living with a heart that wasn't supposed to exist. He never asked to be a weapon. He only wanted to love and be loved. But every moment he spends with Wanda is borrowed time. The universe is hunting him not for who he is, but for the gem that gives him life. As Thanos' forces close in, Vision realizes a truth more painful than any wound. There is only one way to win. Wanda must destroy the stone, and him along with it. She begs for another option, any other option. But Vision just smiles, gently, like a man comforting the person he loves during his final heartbeat. "You could never hurt me." His voice is calm, at peace. "I only feel you." Lightning crackles from Wanda's hands as she holds him close, trying to stay strong while her heart collapses inside her chest. She destroys the stone, shattering the love they built piece by fragile piece. Vision dies quietly. His last sight is her. But fate doesn't care about love. Not today. Thanos arrives. And with a twist of time, Vision's sacrifice is erased. He wakes to terror instead of peace, and watches Wanda scream as Thanos rips the stone out of his skull. No goodbye, no dignity, just silence. He dies again, not for hope, but for horror. Some sacrifices inspire the world. Vision's sacrifice reminded the universe of one brutal truth. Sometimes love isn't enough to stop the darkness. Jean Grey, X-Men United. The dam is collapsing. The X-Men are trapped. Only Jean can save them, but using her full power means losing herself. She steps out of the jet and holds back a flood powerful enough to erase everyone she loves. Wolverine screams for her to stop, but she smiles, tears falling, because she's finally controlling her destiny. She disappears beneath the water, a hero's death. Though we learn later, the Phoenix never truly dies. And then a sacrifice shaped the meaning of hope itself. Superman, Batman versus Superman. Humanity feared him. The government hunted him. The world doubted his heart. Yet, when Doomsday rises, Superman flies forward with the kryptonite spear, knowing it will kill him too. He pushes through the pain, through the fear, through the hate of the people he's saving. One final strike, one silent fall. He dies believing he failed, while the world realizes he was their greatest protector. But sometimes, the one raised as a villain becomes the final hero. Harry Osborn's Spider-Man 3. Jealousy, hatred, revenge. Harry let darkness turn him against Peter, the only family he had left. But when Venom tries to impale Spider-Man, Harry jumps into the Blade's path. The glider, his father's legacy, kills him the same way it killed Norman. A cycle of violence broken in one moment of forgiveness. Harry dies with a smile. "You're my best friend."
You're my friend.
And yet, the X-Men lost the man who was their heart. Professor X, X-Men: The Last Stand. Jean is no longer Jean. The Phoenix controls her unstable, unstoppable. Xavier approaches not as a soldier, but as a father. He begs her to fight the monster inside herself. The house erupts, walls dissolving into atoms. Xavier floats into the air, and with a look of sorrow and love, he disintegrates. No violence, no scream. Just a man sacrificing himself to save the child he raised. Even without a body, his legacy lives in every mutant who continues the fight.